Thank you so much, Wilson, right there. Really an interesting discussion concerning what's happening in Edo State. But moving away from that, let's take a look at another critical issue that a lot of people have not taken a cursory look at. Talking about discrimination within the police force, especially with some of the laws introduced way back in 1968, till today have not been abrogated, and the fact remains that women who happen to be in the police force are not given the right needed support to be able to give their best. And joining me this morning to take a critical look at that is Faith Owadishi, Executive Director, Center for Transparency Advocacy, as we talk about Australian policy on pregnant or married female personnel. It's a pleasure to have you this morning.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
What I heard about is really funny to me, that we can have laws that has to do with discrimination against pregnant female police personnel. How do you feel about this?
Exactly. It's something that has been on for a very long time. There are a number of discrimination against women in the police force, so we call them police women. And some of these things we have tried out. And also, it's not just the police force. The labor laws that we have in this country are also not very gender sensitive. When you look at where they have subscribed, where women should work and what time women should not work, even in our own labor law in this country, you have that. So, but specifically for the police, there are certain provisions in the police regulations that are not too favorable to women. I guess the appeal court judgment a few days ago is what has brought it up to the fore. And I want to commend the Nigeria Bar Association for doing this and ensuring that they take it to this extent. The reason for this was because a young lady, a young policewoman serving in Ekiti State, was dismissed because she got pregnant because she was not married. Because the regulation says if a woman is not married and she gets pregnant, she'll be dismissed, and she will not be enlisted unless the Inspector General of Police permits her enlistment. And that same law does not apply to a policeman who impregnates a policewoman that is unmarried or any other person that is unmarried. The man is left to go free like that. So you see that some of these laws, even from society, even in our educational sector, you see a young girl that is pregnant, the school expels the girl because she got pregnant in school, but allows the boy to continue schooling until he ends it. So it's there. And that is not just the only discrimination that you have in the police. For instance, if you are a young girl, you are in the police, and you are not married, if you want to marry, you need to go and take permission to get married.
That's what
you need to take permission to get married. Aside taking permission to get married, the person you are getting married to will be thoroughly investigated. So some people say it's a two-edged sword. You have the good and the bad side of that. But in this day and age, somebody who has been enlisted into the police is an adult and should be able to take care of herself. And then you don't need the police again to begin to say, oh, this thing you have done is morally wrong, this is what you are this is what you should do. It is not everybody that will end up getting married. And so that the fact that a young policewoman gets married is not there. And then again, the other form of discrimination that you find, even in the laws, is that you have special duties that you want to send female police, even if they are capable to. And it's really not there. It's not really a Nigerian thing globally. Before the world, the Third World War, you had men who were working in certain areas, and then you also had because of the war, they enlisted the men into the war, and so the women were put onto those jobs that men were having. But after the war, the men came back to their jobs and they dropped the women away. So it's a discrimination really that one doesn't encourage women into the police force. But studies have shown that women who go to enlist in the police force go through different examinations, and more women do better when it comes to examination. But the physical aspect of it, okay, you have more men doing better. But policing is not about using power. You need to be able to use your intellectual capacity to analyze crimes and do so. If you're having more women passing the exams, it means that we should actually look at those discriminatory provisions in the Police Act that keeps women away from fulfilling their full potential of joining the force.
Why you put into consideration, you said something about, what do you think must have motivated this? Or we just copy everything from what we get from the modern world, from Europeans and the western part of the world, and just put it in? What do you think must have motivated this kind of law?
Well, it's the culture, the fact that first and foremost the thing is, you see the woman as the weaker sex.
Oh, okay.
You see you want to protect the woman to the detriment of the woman, up to the extent that it's just like when we have children, our children growing up, we think that they don't have certain capacities. We want to do everything for them, and then you get to that extent where the child begins to, you know, push back. I say, I can do this, mommy, I can do this, daddy, I can do this. So we have reached that stage, and you know that especially in the Nigerian police force, we didn't start enlisting women till around the late 60s. That was when we started enlisting. So the advocacy for women inclusion, because of issue of pay, employment, started a very long time ago. It didn't start with us, you know. So the thing is, we need to look at our culture, and you know, when we are doing these things, we forget that this is the same culture where we had women who had fought wars. We have the Moremis, the Queen India, you know, we have them in this world that they fought even before this present age and time. Now we are seeing women emerging as presidents, leaders of industry, doing wonderfully well. We have our own Okonjo-Iweala leading the World Trade Organization and all of that. So the idea that you want to protect the woman is a weak sex, the woman is this, should actually be taken away. Because even when you want to interpret, if you go to the religious angle, they say that the woman is a weaker sex. But you know again that upon the story of creation, we were told that after the man was created, he was put to sleep, and a rib was taken out of his body so that he can become a helpmate to the man. And I keep saying that you cannot help somebody that you are weaker than. You have to help somebody you are stronger than. Because if you help somebody that you are weaker than, the person will crush you and you will not be there. But when you help somebody that you are stronger than, like in engineering, for instance, using my background, if there's a defect on the wall, you need to put up materials that have a stronger tensile strength that will support that material, so that when the material collapses, it doesn't collapse on the wall that is supporting it and destroy it, but that one supporting it will support it and make it stronger. And so that's what we should be looking.
Okay, while we try to get him back on the line, now we're talking about Barrister Maxwell Okpara on the issues concerning the discrimination. Already, but my worry is the fact that for quite some time this debate has been going on for quite some time, and unfortunately it's not even coming from the police force. In 2019, so a senator brought up this issue about discrimination within the police force, and it's not even coming from the police force. Why do you think it has to take somebody from outside to really fight for the plight of these women?
Yeah, because the thing is, mostly, and now for this fight to have happened was because somebody was dismissed and she spoke up. A lot of people have been dismissed in the past, but they didn't speak up. So usually when you have things like this happening, you just need somebody who will decide to say, let me be the sacrificial lamb that will make this happen. And if she didn't speak up, I'm sure would have continued, because I know that even when far back in those days when I was in Benin and we were doing all of these advocacies, we were talking about these issues, but it didn't really have any weight until somebody who was victimized, you know, came up to say this is what has happened, and the NBA took it up. That's why. And then another thing is that when you look at the population in the police force, you have more male than female in the police force. And so definitely, who does it benefit? It benefits the male more than the female. And since the females are not coming out to complain within the system, because if they complain within the system, they could be disciplined. And that's why, again, if you look at the police force, because it is somebody called the police the civilian oversight. The oversight over civilians like you and I. So we should be also interested in their welfare. We should be interested in what happens and makes them work better. And that's why you see it is coming from the people themselves. It's coming from the NBA. And you know, the NBA case, I hope that the barrister will join us to speak more about this. They were actually looking at the Police Service Commission and the police force itself, Inspector General of Police. You know, they are the ones who have the responsibility of administering these policies and these acts that we have within the police force to make it work better. So if it is there, people put it there for a reason. We outsiders must look at it and point out. And then when you talk to the people inside, they want, especially the females, they want to bring about this change. But because of the systems and the bureaucracies that you have, they're not able to bring up the case by themselves and challenge it. They need the support of outsiders like the NBA, you and I, the media, to be able to get these things on the table. And you can see the way Nigerians are celebrating this. Even with what happened, the celebration really is from even the female folk. A lot of people don't even know that this is happening.
Exactly, yeah.
The media is talking about it now. So we're talking about this issue of unmarried women. Let's talk about the other issues. Yeah. Let's also talk about the fact that you need to get permission if you're not married before you can get married. The fact that your spouse must be investigated and all of this. And even the allocation of homes in police barracks. Yeah. There's discrimination especially for
I heard about that.
So these are the things we need to put on the table and say, what is good for the man is also good for the woman. If a woman can rise up to be a police commissioner, even though we have been praying that one day we should have a female inspector general of police. You see, so these are the areas where some of these discriminations are coming about. It's not that we don't have competent women who can be inspector generals of police, and they have shown themselves, you know. So it is important that we ensure that since with the police in Nigeria, whatever sector we find in Nigeria, that women are willing, capable and able to discharge their duties. We shouldn't put anything in their way to disturb them or discriminate them from achieving their full potential.
Really interesting discourse right there with Madam Faith Wadichi right there, talking to us about discrimination within the police force. And really it's an eye-opener, and hopefully we can have Pastor Maxwell Opara joining us right there to also shed more light to this. But hopefully before the end of this discourse we can have him. But this is also benefit for when we're talking about the police force. There are other paramilitary agencies that are discriminations, but nobody is talking about it. What do you think? You just mentioned some of these things. With this decision taking, what do you think? What ricocheting effect is going to have on so many other areas of life that people have kept quiet about?
Okay, so really this is not just about the police, because if you look at some of the laws that we have in the country, like I mentioned, even our labor law discriminates against women, especially women minors. Say this is level that you have to get. You go to school to train, and you have gone through all of that. Why should the law stop you from practicing what you have trained on? So there are so many. It's really going to help to increase the awareness and also raise the consciousness of people. Exactly. That's why I'm really happy that this has happened, and the media is taking it up. I hope that you will add more voice to it, so that it's not just because this has happened within this period and we have discussed this and this ends there. Even in our political sphere, you have political parties who don't field female candidates. We have been trying to get even a female vice president in this country. We have not been able to get. Just a few cases of women who have been deputy governors, then a case of a woman who was a governor in Anambra State and all of that. So it cuts across every sector, the business sector, our private lives, in our homes. Somebody was telling me the other day, oh, you know, the woman is the neck and the head. The head needs the neck to turn. But I said the day the head dies, the neck stops turning. So it's important that we know that everybody will all have a role to play, and should be given the full potential, full opportunity, given the conducive environment to be able to play that role and play it effectively for society. Like I say, if you right now the population of Nigeria now says, oh, that people are saying, oh, we now have more men than women. We never have our data correct. You understand it? Exactly. And so by the time we say, okay, we're 50% each, and then you have only 50% making the decision for the other 50%. The other person is not sitting on the table. If I go to the maternity, I know how it pains. I know what I feel there. No man has ever gone to the maternity. The best a man can do in going to the maternity is drive me to the maternity and sit in the car, wait for me to come out. You understand it? So when I talk about issues in the healthcare sector, and I talk about antenatal care, I talk about postnatal care, you should hear from me what I feel, because I'm the one wearing the shoe and understands how it pinches me. I will tell you where the solutions will be. But most times, so we have all of these things on paper, and we are not talking to the people, especially when we develop laws and policies. We don't engage stakeholders.
Yeah.
We don't do proper stakeholder analysis or identification to find out who is this in the market in a community. I'm talking to political leaders. I'm talking to the market women who used to stay under the rain with that small umbrella. You're not talking to them to give you explanation or ideas on the kind of shades that they want in that market. But you're talking to political leaders. You build the market, you do a farm fair, you inaugurate it, and the women don't use the market.
Yeah, really interesting right there. I think we have Barrister Maxwell Opara on the line right now, joining us right there via Zoom, and to talk about this very interesting discourse right there, talking about what's happening within the police force. But we will just mention the police force. There are so many agencies of government where there is level of discrimination against women. Barrister Maxwell, we are with us this morning. What is your take on the recent decision by what transpired, and also going forward, what should be done to really improve the lot of women within the police force and in other areas of life? Go ahead, Barrister Maxwell. Tell us what you think about the recent decision taken and also discrimination against women within the police force.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you go on?
Okay. Yes, well, it is a welcome development. I want to give kudos to Nigerian Bar Association that took the matter up. We have been clamoring on it. We need to do more. This is where the FIDA, Association of Female Lawyers, NAWOJ, Association of the Female Journalists, Women Journalists, and what have you. This is where they should look inward. Just like Madam in the studio have said, there are a lot of laws against women, especially in government establishments, in private sector. There are a lot of laws against women, and as if that women are not human beings. That our culture in this African sub-region made a man to be the head is not a ground for us to discriminate against women. Imagine how can somebody sit in the National Assembly spending their taxpayers' money to enact a law that a woman, if you are pregnant, you cease to be a police officer. If you want to marry a female police officer, they will investigate the background of the man very well, check everything very well. But if a man police officer wants to go and marry a male police officer wants to go and marry a female counterpart, they will not investigate that particular woman. These are discrimination, and now that we have started, we should continue. In our political sector, you discriminate against women, and most of the most annoying aspect of it is women discriminating against themselves. If I have a matter now where the woman lost her husband January last year at Ebonyi State, the woman is still there mourning. They went to Niger State, the husband's brothers, pack everything and chase the woman out of the house, say that the woman has only a female child. Could you believe that I took that matter to the Federal Minister of Women Affairs there? They did not do anything. But the Minister of Women Affairs will just come shouting on air that he's doing this, he's doing that. I can go on and on. Yeah, we're talking about rape cases that I will take to them. They will not do anything. So the women are the problem. They are the problem among themselves. If the woman can come collectively, there is nothing they cannot do. If you travel abroad, you dare not play with women. If you play with women, you go to prison. But this is a place where somebody will beat up the wife, beat up the female counterpart, rape, do everything. If you take the matter to police, you know the people that will frustrate the case. Female police officers that will be the people to frustrate the case. Take the matter to Minister of Women Affairs. The people that will frustrate the matter is all those staff, female staff there. You can call back this program. I will come in the studio, invite those the women affairs. I will confront them. Is it the woman that was naked, beaten up naked at a club? I brought the matter to Commissioner of Women Affairs in Anambra. The woman messed the matter up. I brought it to here when the other woman from Plateau State, Pauline Talent, was Minister for Women Affairs. He messed the matter up. So the women are the problem. So if they can, if you want this matter now that was filed in the High Court, how many women participated in that appearance? From High Court to Court of Appeal, how many women that participated? Then most of the times we take a matter that has to do with women to female judges, there will not be anything. So as far as I'm concerned, if the women come together, there is nothing they cannot achieve.
Opinion right there. You heard what he said. He said women are not fighting enough for themselves, and that if women can come together, they can be able to move mountains. Do you agree with what you just said about that?
I don't agree, because this has been the narrative for too long, and this narrative has kept women under. That the easiest explanation that anybody can give is because women are fighting themselves. So a woman is having an issue with another woman, it becomes a woman fighting themselves. What about men that fight themselves? They're in court every day. They're having. Do you say men are fighting themselves? Yeah. So these are things that happen in society, you know. And the fact that if you look at what is happening right now, you have more women supporting women. Yeah. We have come to understand that that narrative about women fighting themselves do no longer hold water. The reason for that is we have so internalized that thing in our head that it is women who fight themselves. And so as soon as a woman is coming out for something, she's already targeting, she's already feeling that women will fight me. She forgets that you have, if you have 10 women in a place, you have 10 men in a place, those 10 men can ever fight themselves, you know, forever. But nobody ever says men are fighting themselves. So it is something in society. We find ourselves, you have conflicts in society. A woman can have a conflict with another woman and they settle it. Let society not target as woman fighting woman. Because you have men who also have this conflict and you never ever target as men fighting men. So let us look at it as a societal concept and something that happens in society. All we need to do is let that education go there, out there, that as much support as you can give to any woman. And you know, it is because of all of these kind of narratives that they come out to say, oh, women will not come out to vote for themselves, women will not step out to contest and do all of that. Then if you look at the power arena, who are the people in the power arena? You have more men in the power arena. Yeah. So you have, if you have more men supporting the woman will come with their own support and put it there. You have all of your support, you're supporting that particular woman. The men who are more, who have the power, who have the money, the resources and everything, they are shutting you down. It's either your father, your brother, your husband, you know, or your spouse. Anybody is shutting you down as a woman. Don't talk. You are not supposed to speak. You're not supposed to be heard. You're not supposed to be even seen in the sector. We are a people who believe in culture, in our tradition, in our religion, and all of these suppress the voice of the woman. So you come up, you are trained as a girl child never to speak up for yourself, never to fight for anything for yourself, and then you suddenly realize you have two daughters, they are arguing and say women are fighting against women. Men fight more against men. So what we really need to do is educate the women, ensure that they have the enablement to be able to support and push women. Let women know that the argument you're having with another woman does not end up as women fighting themselves, but women supporting each other. When you fight constructively and you support, making sure that you're not pulling her down, but you are dragging her up.
Let me take the last one from Barrister Maxwell right there before we wrap up the discussion right there. Barrister Maxwell, you listened to what Madam Faith Owadeshi just stated concerning the issue about the narrative about women fighting women. But when you take a critical look at it, do you think we have given the women the right platform to also be able to showcase and show us what they can do? Do you think we have been able to give them that platform?
Well, Madam Faith, I think he's getting it wrong. And anytime I'm talking about this, people should listen because I have seen it all. I'm involved.
So sorry that we just have to call that just before I let Madam Faith leave the studio right there. A quick one right there. Last one from you on this discussion.
We congratulate Nigeria Bar Station for getting that judgment. We hope that every other discriminating act in the police and other paramilitary forces should actually be set aside and allow women exercise their rights, their fundamental human rights, so that they can show their full potential and support this country. Especially now that we have issues of insecurity, we need women to be in the forefront of that.
We need women to be in the forefront of that, but let's hope that other agencies, military, paramilitary agencies, and other sectors of the society can take a lead from that, and let's give women the equal representation they deserve. That's good, quite interesting. Having days with Faith Owadeshi right there, talking about the discrimination against women within the police force. But we all know it's not just within the police force; it's also in every strata of our society. We're linking up with our Benin Network studio. We are now posting in the standing by to take us through the TMI socials.